Yo guys, what is up? Welcome back to a brand new video here today and some more F1 2020 My Team Career Mode. Today we are here for the brand new, or should I say returning actually, Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort. If you guys missed the last episode at China, check it out guys. I will leave a link up here in the top right hand corner of your screen. A race in which we upgraded one of our facilities guys for the first time ever. It cost around $2 million, so if you haven't seen it guys, check it out. And also, in my opinion, some of my best overtakes so far in this year's game with some massive Ricardo-esque dive bombs at China in our car, which doesn't feel the greatest. So, you know, it's quite tricky to pull off these overtakes. So, by all means, check it out. Let me know what you think. But today, we are here at Zandvoort. And guys, once again, thank you for the support. If you're new to the channel, and again, you want to see more content like this, then drop me a like and subscribe if you're new. But let's get this episode underway because we've got some updates. First and foremost, as you guys may or may not know from the last episode, if you saw it at the end of the video, we signed a contract with a new sponsor and the team is now level 5 and we signed the contract with DSB Optics. Now, it's going to give us a pretty good weekly income, but the goal bonus is very complicated because it's got a very nice bonus, but they require that we get a top 10 finish, aka score points. We've done it before, we did it at Vietnam, and we got very lucky in that race, but the fact is, I feel like we're pushing on quite well as a team, so I don't think it's a totally unrealistic objective, and the contract length is around 90 days, so that's 3 months, so we can improve a lot in that time, and I can definitely sneak a top 10, maybe in a race like Monaco, maybe that could be a good option, but anyway, let's get the weekend underway, and let's go to Zandvoort. First and foremost, the weather forecast, no rain expected this weekend, which is great. The upgrades though, bad news. We've been overtaken by Alpha Tauri and Haas. They've both got ahead of us in this, which is not great, and it's not looking too promising. So we're now back to second worst on the grid, and we've also got some upgrades. One of them did fail this weekend for the chassis, and we've got an engine and aero one on the way as well. Once we finish these up, we're getting pretty close now to some major upgrades rather than just minor ones. So hopefully that will help us out in the future. But we now move into practice, the first of the sessions this weekend, and you know, get into grips of, you know, how the car feels around here. And I gotta be honest guys, it was a messy one. I couldn't find a balance with the car. The AI seemed pretty quick around here. As always, we are running 110% AI, and the AI seemed pretty quick around here. I was struggling for balance and grip in my car. I tried a bunch of different setup adjustments and nothing really worked. And to be honest with you, I went into qualifying not very confident. The car just wasn't feeling great, and I had very little confidence in myself, and this is a very challenging and demanding circuit, so it's going to be a tricky one, but we'll try and make it work. Fingers crossed we can pull something out of the bag. But yeah, first of all, this was my first lap in qualifying, and you know, to prove my point about the setup not being particularly great, as you'll see here, I run it a bit wide into the hairpin, and then I get on the gas, I lose the back end, and it's a big shunt into the wall. We're very, very fortunate that we didn't have damage, in the sense that we managed to continue on and we didn't end our session there. You know, sometimes when you hit the wall at that angle, you can get terminal damage. Luckily, it was just a front wing loss. So, you know, it wasn't major damage in that sense. It's just a front wing change. We'll fix that in the pit lane. But yeah, not the best way to start the session. I had to go back to the pit lane. A bit of time was lost in the process by changing the front wing. And then the very next attempt, I lost the back end again through the fast right on the exit, and again just not feeling confident with the setup. The balance wasn't there, and you know, I didn't know what to do because once you get to qualifying, park for May conditions are enabled and the setups are locked. So what I did was I actually stayed out after that spin because I had enough fuel in the car, so I stayed out and I went for another attempt. I actually tweaked the differential, I moved it all the way up to 75, and it seemed to have given me a little bit more rear grip, and also I drove a little bit more cautiously. I wanted to get just a lap time on the board as we crossed the line. We do go P21 to be fair, and ahead of Nicolas Latifi, so it wasn't that bad of a lap in fairness. But now this was my best lap of the session, my final one, so let's run aboard for a full lap of Zandvoort and let's see what the lap is like. Here we go then, out of the final corner, opening up the DRS, hot lap across the line, and we do improve by nearly 0.6 of a second, but ultimately it wasn't enough. P20 is where we finish, as others around us did improve on their final runs.
You lost to your teammate today. Was it just not your day?
Pretty much. I wasn't happy with the car. That's also the reason why, but Mick's been great in qualifying, so I can't complain. It's Benny's day, fair play to him.
You won't be starting at the front of the pack. Are you worried?
Obviously, you know, you want to be starting further up, but at the same time, it is what it is. My qualifying has not been great.
You left some body work out there on the track. Were you struggling for grip?
Yep, you could say that. Just a little bit, maybe. You know, the spins might indicate that. You know, just saying.
Appreciate your time.
Anyway, that is the interview done, and a bit of an awkward one really, having to answer those questions, but nonetheless, as you can see now on the Rivalry Breakdown, before we jump into the race, we are 11-8 versus Romain Grosjean after qualifying, and the team acclaim going up 18% to be fair, quite a lot. We could actually hit level 6 at the end of today's race, and we're now level 4, and Mick is level 5. But guys, let's get into the race, let's try and turn this around. Hopefully we can try and pull something out the bag on Sunday, but it's now time for the Dutch Grand Prix.
It was 35 years ago that the late great Niki Lauda took his 25th and final Grand Prix win here at Zandvoort. He came from 10th on the grid to beat his McLaren teammate Alain Prost by just 0.2 of a second. Well, Zandvoort is a very different circuit today, of course, but still one with an incredible legacy. And we're going to add to that. Welcome along to the 2020 Dutch Grand Prix. Zandvoort circuit then, 14 corners, 10 to the right and 4 to the left, with plenty of steep camber and elevation changes to keep our drivers on their toes throughout the 2.6 mile lap. And watch out for cars making use of the DRS zone into turn 1 to try and overtake. Now, Anthony Davidson, I wonder, might we be in for some early pit stops today from the midfield teams, all trying to put some pressure on or disrupting things for the leaders up front?
If you're in the middle of the pack, you know, you got your own race to run, I don't think they're going to be thinking about causing trouble up front. However, closer to the head of the pack, don't be surprised to see some split strategies. If you're running second and third, for example, bringing one car in for an undercut while leaving the other one out there longer can put a lot of pressure on the leader and maybe force them into an error.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Verstappen, Charles Leclerc and Albon, Sainz, Ricciardo, Norris and Sergio Perez, Stroll, Ocon, Daniel Kvyat and Gasly, Grosjean, Magnussen, Kimi Raikkonen and Antonio Giovinazzi, Schumacher, Martinez, Russell and Nicholas Latifi. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Right guys, so it's time for the Dutch Grand Prix here at Zandvoort, starting from P20, and to be fair, qualifying was pretty good, you know, considering the issues. I think we maximised it quite well. There was maybe 2 more places we could have gained because they were all very, very close to us, and you know, maybe on a perfect lap with a good setup, I could have achieved it, but generally speaking, P20 will have to do. Strategy-wise, it's very tricky. The game's saying hard to soft, but I am tempted to run a medium soft and try my luck. It could be risky. We might struggle for grip at some point, but it might be the quicker strategy. I don't think the game allows for a medium soft strategy. I don't think it doesn't allow it. So what we'll do is we'll add on another stint, but I am thinking medium soft, a one-stop strategy. It's going to be extremely marginal, but we'll try our best. No rain expected. I'm not going to fuel the car too much, so we'll go 0.8 over, because dirty I think will be a factor around here, and overheating the engine will also be a big factor. So let's see how we get on. Hopefully it's a good race, and fingers crossed we can try and get a point. That'd be pretty sick, but I'm not expecting too much. Right then, here we go. The lights are coming on for the Dutch Grand Prix. Lights on, lights off, and away we go. Giovinazzi defending the inside straight away there, as we get a pretty good launch. Going to go on the outside here into turn 1. Let's see if we can make anything happen. Easy does it. Out of there now, through into this tricky section. I'm going to try my luck around the outside of the hairpin here. See if we can get anything out of this. On the outside, if we do get alongside Antonio Giovinazzi in the Ferrari, it's going to be Mercedes versus Ferrari power here along this short kind of double curve straight. into the long right. Down the inside of Giovinazzi we go. He is on the soft tyres, but so it'd be nice to get past and get ahead of him if possible. Side by side still. Multiple side by sides in front, literally. It's just like a sequence of side by side, but we do get the inside line on Antonio Giovinazzi there, and we make a move. We've got Kimi on mediums battling with a Haas on soft, so let's see if we can get ahead of Kimi maybe. That'd be a good move to get early on as we go into this tricky kind of Mickey Mouse section. These guys still side by side going into here. A little bit of contact as well for good measure. Giovinazzi looking up the inside, but we're just going to kind of hold the inside line here and force him behind us. A little bit of contact actually. Kimi's forced off by the Haas. We might have a chance to get past here. We're going to use the engine mode onto the pit straight. Looks like Kimi's not running the engine mode. Can we get the Haas as well into turn one? No, not quite. Braking not really there at the moment, but we do go down the inside. Let's have a look at that. So the control electronics and the IC looking a little bit second hand, but good start from us. Up to P17. Exactly what we needed. On the medium tyres, it's crucial to kind of run at a good pace, but also we need to try and hold on to these tyres. We don't want to push them too much. The strategy we're going for is very, very risky on tyre wear. So if we can drive at a smooth pace and try and hold on to the tyres a bit, that would be nice. But so far, so good. Oh, Raikkonen's dropped off.
We advise moving to mix 2, fuel to mix 2.
Not sure what's happened to Kimi Raikkonen, but he's dropped off massively. And we've now got a 2-second gap to him, which is great. So that takes the pressure off from behind. And we can now look ahead of us and try and keep up with these guys in front. All of them on soft tyres, it looks like. So if we can stick with them, that'd be a good pace for us. Looks like this runs all the way up to P13. So looking pretty good. So we're just going to catch a quick replay to see what happened to the Iceman, Kimi Raikkonen, and it's on the exit of the hairpin. He just gets a bit loose on traction, loses the back end, and that puts him under pressure from his own teammate. So a bit of a mistake there from the Iceman. Well, I've dropped out of the RS range. Don't quite have the pace at the moment. Cars in the soft tyres just a little bit too quick, but we're still in the race. Just got to try and see if I can gradually claw myself back within that 1 second window. My front left is overheating, even on these tyres, which is a bit concerning. I think I've got the setup all wrong around here. Hasn't worked as expected. That's been my big issue all weekend, and I've used up all my ERS here, which is also not good. Just really struggling for pace at the moment, which isn't good. Pace is a little bit better as we set a new personal best. I've just reduced the differential a little bit, and I'm learning to control the power a bit more. Still off the pace quite a bit. Kimi on mediums is catching back up to me. I'm just trying to avoid locking the front left whenever I can, this corner especially. And I'm finding a little bit more pace as I keep the front left under temperature control. Oh, yellow flag. A bit further ahead.
Incident in the next part of the track. No overtaking through the yellow flags.
Lance Stroll out the session, the racing point.
Okay, clear.
I think we're a bit too far to go to the end on hard tyres if there is a safety car or VSC, it looks like. Which is a shame, but then again there's no VSC or safety cars, it doesn't matter too much. I'm really dropping off now from the guys in front. Big time, losing so much now. But Kimi still has yet to kind of put a proper move on me, so we're okay. We're just chilling in P16 really, that's the best we can do. Oh, getting a bit loose there. Just trying to keep Kimi behind us as he has a look through there, but no way through for now. Oh, here comes Kimi. Caught me napping. I wasn't ready for it. He goes through. We're going to try and battle with him here and stick with him. Into the final corner. I'm going to wait and I'm going to pick up the DRS for the pit straight. I feel like I'll be able to get him back a lot easier this way. Overtake mode engaged. Now we wait for the DRS. Here we go. Let's try and get Kimi back if we can. Look at the speed of that Alfa Romeo power unit, or the Ferrari power unit. Cars leaving the pit exit here. This is going to be pretty sticky. Cars on the hard compound tyre. It's a McLaren. Side by side, but we go around the outside and get in front of Carlos Sainz, who's on fresh hard tyres. Let's see if we can keep the McLaren behind. Looks like he's putting the pressure on here with overtake mode. We're going to have to use our own, but I've got no juice left. I'm inside 20%. Oh, another yellow flag. More cars in the pit lane. Another retirement. This could be pretty tasty.
Approaching the pit window. You'll be on the softs.
I'm not sure what I'm going to do here. Sebastian Vettel's out.
The safety car is out. The safety car is out. We need to form up at a reduced pace. Keep a close eye on that delta time. Make sure to keep it positive. Okay, slow down, slow down. Your delta is negative, which means you are too fast. Reduce your pace.
Right, we're going to pit for the hard compound tyres this lap. Use the safety car to get a cheap pit stop. Here we go, let's have a little look to see what happened to Sebastian Vettel, and it's another Ferrari power unit failure. We saw it last race with Grosjean in the Haas, and it's happened again, this time for the Works Ferrari team, so maybe that power unit isn't as reliable as it says at the start of the career mode. Just waiting for this delta to disappear. It should go at any second, but if not, we're going to have to just keep it under control before we pit. Not allowed to speed, of course. Here we go, now we can get on with it into the pit lane. Get it all slowed down. Right, hard compound tyres. Kimmy's going to pit with us. Way too far to go on soft tyres. It's literally impossible. So we'll pit for the hards. Mick's pitting as well.
Mick is in the pits. Mick in the pits. Exit now. You'll be racing as you leave the pits. Release, release. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops.
2.3 second stop. The boys giving us a very nice stop there. We've got both of the Haas cars in front. They're also on hard tyres. So we're going to be on the back of them once again, which is great. And we're going to have much fresher tyres as well. So we may have a chance actually now of doing something in this race. Still going to be tricky, but we'll try our best. Fuel-wise, I've got a bit of fuel saved up as well. And this gives us a chance to save the ERS up as well. So the safety car has come at a very good time. Okay, safety car pitting this lap. Just trying to get some last minute temperature into my tyres if I can. They're going to be a little bit on the cooler side, which makes me a little bit nervous, but it is what it is. Need to be on point for this restart. Let's see how we get away here. Through the banking. Right on the gearbox of the Haas here. Here we go. Yellow flag. Now we go green. Good timing on that. Let's see if we can get down the inside of Magnussen here. Thought about going down the inside. We are going to get both Haas cars. Oh yes, there we go. Didn't think Grosjean would open the door, but he did. So we're now up to P13 suddenly. Can we go around the outside of Gasly here? Trying it at the hairpin. Overtake mode engaged. Mercedes versus Honda. To be fair, look at the speed of that Honda power unit. They've been upgrading that pretty well, it looks like. Right, now we've got to try and get these tyres up to temperature. Let's see if we can find some pace.
Fuel target is +1. Faster engine modes are available.
We're going to have slightly better tyres as well than everybody else around us, which is also going to help in the long run. But let's see if we can hang on to these guys. I'm not too confident, but we'll try and do our best. Important to try not to use the ERS too much because it does deplete quite quick and it's hard to charge. Not bad. Personal best. Pace is looking pretty good. We're hanging on here to these boys for now. Trying not to use the ERS, and I'm trying to push corners at different areas. So this one's a good one for me in terms of taking a different line. I'm working so hard here to hang in and keep DRS with Pierre Gasly. Also, of course, like I said before, trying to keep ERS deployment at a minimum. And we're hanging on, to be fair. I'm kind of hoping that by sticking with these guys, we can maybe drop the Haas cars behind. Grosjean is a second behind, so we are opening up a slight gap, which could help us out. Oh, running a bit wide there. I'm really trying to hang on to this DRS. On for another personal best. I've used quite a lot of battery, to be fair, to keep up, but this is a pace that I just can't maintain at the minute. I really need to hope that Grosjean drops out a second, and that way I can relax a little bit, but at the minute I'm really relying on Gasly pulling me along here. Okay, we've pulled away from Grosjean. Gap is now over a second. We've kept him away from DRS, and we've still got DRS on Gasly. Another personal best. The pace is just relentless at the moment, but we're hanging in there. I've just got to try and stick with it. I don't think we'll finish any higher than P13, but if I can just hang on here, this will definitely exceed expectations for this race. For once, it seems like I actually had better one-lap qualifying pace than I did race pace, which never really happens. It's never really the case. Hasn't been the case in the last F1 games. So, yeah, overall, I've got to be happy with our race performance, to be honest. I have now dropped out of range, though, of Gasly's DRS, unfortunately. So it's now all about keeping ahead of Grosjean, if possible. Gap is 1.3. Let's see what we can do. I'm not mega confident. I'm going to try and burn some fuel and get a little bit lighter to help myself out a bit. That was a good lap from us. We're pulling away from Grosjean now. Gap is 1.8. Hopefully,
To run in this engine mode much longer, You're about a lap over target. Drop down to mix 2 soon.
Hopefully he can battle with Magnussen a little bit, and they can take some time off each other. That will allow me to build a gap and hopefully pull away. The gap, to be fair, is coming down. They're now 7 tenths apart, so could be a bit of a Haas battle. That would really, really help me out massively here.
Nick is coming in for his stop.
Okay, interesting. To be fair, the safety car screwed Mick over. He started on the hard tyres, so he didn't need that safety car. That ruined his strategy. So that's Mick now, a long way away and out of the race, pretty much, in terms of contention. Maybe he can claw back the Williams cars with a faster tyre. On the soft tyres, maybe. That's what he's going for, I'm guessing. As the race goes on, it's definitely helping me out because, like I said before, I feel like I had better qualifying pace than race pace. Therefore, as the car gets lighter, I'm more competitive, and the gap is slowly going up to that 2-second region. So I'm actually quite pleased. It's going really well. We're still just edging away lap by lap, bit by bit. And we're building up enough of a gap that when the AI go for their final laps push, which they always do, we should have enough of a gap to stay ahead. So I'm very happy. We're also keeping the ERS under control and fuel is on target. Good pace from us. We're really flying. Personal best this lap into the 112s. We're really hanging on. I'm genuinely surprised we've actually kept ahead and pulled away from Grosjean. Very surprising. I've impressed myself and the car has surprised me, but now the car's nice and light. Like I said before, now we're starting to show some more pace. Gasly hasn't gotten away. He's now out of Ocon's DRS, to be fair, so he might slip our way a little bit. It's that time now. The AI is setting new fastest laps as they start to get lighter on fuel, and this is when they push with their engine. We respond though with a new personal best of our own. I think we're okay now. Even if Grosjean pushes, I think we've got enough of a gap to stay ahead. Oh, it's a very good lap from us. There we go then. Lewis Hamilton picks up yet another win, and this time he does take the lead in the championship rather than be equal on points. I'm running lean mix now. I'm running higher gears, trying to save a little bit of the engine. If I can make this engine last the next race at Spain and then stretched over to Monaco, that would be great in terms of making it to the end on the current components. So let's hope we can achieve that. But here we go through the final few corners. Now Grosjean's gained about a second on me this lap because I've been running in a low engine mode, but still it's been a great performance. A very surprising result. I did not expect it. P13, we've had to suffer, but we come through and I'll take that.
All right, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
The Mercedes team pulled out a fantastic performance today. They should be proud. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
Without a doubt, the safety car changed everything today. The key to their success was keeping calm and reacting to the situation quickly. We've seen teams in the past throw away wins because they were too hesitant, but here they were decisive, and that's allowed them to take the advantage.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
Well guys, there we go. The results are in. Lewis Hamilton with the win here today. Verstappen second, Bottas third, Charles Leclerc the only Ferrari in fourth place only. Quite disappointing for them. Albon P5, Sainz in sixth ahead of Norris, Perez, Ricciardo, and Danica Fiat scores a point. So he was the man we was equal on points with 1 point apiece. He's now got 2. So yeah, that means he's going to pull a little bit ahead of us now. And we've got Esteban Ocon missing out the points along with Pierre Gasly, who had a 5-second time penalty. So it's a shame I didn't know about that because I finished half a second behind and I could have got a 12th place finish, but it wouldn't have mattered too much anyway, as Raikkonen finishes P14 ahead of Magnussen. Grosjean in the end P16. Not sure what happened to him. I'm guessing it was the penalty that pushed him back. Giovinazzi, Russell, Schumacher on the 2-stop. The only man to 2-stop it here today. He still finished ahead of Latifi and almost caught Russell, so fair play to Mick. It was a good recovery. And then Sebastian Vettel, the only retirement along with Lance Stroll, so actually 2 retirements here today. We then move into the standings, and we still are in P14. Kvyat now has 1 extra point in 13th place, and Hamilton 11 points clear at the top of the table, and Norris and Sainz get themselves into the top half there for both of the McLarens. And then finally the constructor standings, we are in 8th place, 1 point behind AlphaTauri, and then there's quite a gap to Renault as Mercedes extend their lead at the top. But guys, that is it for this one. We're now going to move into the interviews.
You gained a lot of positions during the race, didn't you?
To be fair, we did. It is partly down to the strategy, but to be fair, the car was pretty good in the end of the race.
You're surpassing all expectations. Can anything or anyone stop you?
I mean, not with this team. We've got a great team. I think we're getting better and better all the time.
Great. Well, that's everything.
Here we are then looking at the rivalry breakdown. This weekend we managed to outscore Grosjean by another few more points, so we're now 15-9 and we're halfway there to the 30 mark, so a very good start to the European season, if you will. And also acclaim wise we gained 18% and we're going to go all the way up to level 6, so a massive boost here today, and we're now level 4. Mick is level 5, so we are gradually improving here, which is really good to see. And finally, of course, the cash bonus. We didn't get a top 10 with DSB. It is a tricky objective to get top 10 with them, but having said that, it's a long-term objective. It's a bit longer, so I reckon in 90 days we could potentially get a top 10. That is definitely achievable. And yeah, the total now $2.8 million. So here we are then back on the main menu, and we don't have many days until the Spanish Grand Prix, so we can't do much to the car. We have 3 options. We have weight training, durability, team building, and marketing strategy conference. Probably going to go for weight training again to improve Mick's pace, to make him quicker, to give us a chance as a team to get more points. I think that's going to be the best one, so we'll do that and assign that activity. Upgrades wise, we only have 948 points, but to be fair, we did have a failed upgrade for the chassis this weekend, so we're going to strap that on and get that on the car straight away. And to add to that, we're going to try and throw another one on there. So we've got upgrades on the way. So to be fair, I can't do powertrain or aeros. So actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold on to those points and we're going to wait. I could do durability. Let me see what the options are first of all, though. I need to upgrade the control electronics, which is actually, to be fair, I can do this one. So I'm going to do this because we need this. This is one of the higher wearing parts. And there's a thing in the F1 games where when this control electronics part is worn out, it wears all the other components out a lot quicker, so it's important to make sure this one is really nicely consistent and reliable. So we're going to upgrade that and fix that up really quickly. Hopefully that will help us out in the long term. And there we go, we have spent all of our points and we've got a few upgrades in the pipeline, 1 for each department, so hopefully those will gradually arrive as the races go on. We've got 2 upgrades expected, actually no, 3 upgrades expected for the 11th of May, so that is going to be just after the Spanish Grand Prix, so we should have a pretty healthy upgrade package heading into Monaco. So it's going to be interesting, but guys, that is going to be it from me here today. If you guys enjoyed this video, drop me a like and subscribe if you are new guys to the channel, and also check out the 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But that is it from me for the Dutch Grand Prix. A mixed weekend. Setup wasn't quite on point, but we managed to salvage it at the end and get a decent result. And yeah guys, I'll see you on the next one very soon for the Spanish Grand Prix. But until then guys, take care and goodbye.